Did you want to talk about Shalane Flanagan? Now 2 for 2, Gordon.
Yeah, 2 for 2 run. She, I don't know what's going on with her, but she's like, yeah, I'm gonna go even faster. She runs 3 minutes faster. She runs
Yeah.
not eight. She runs 2:35. She ran 2:38
Hmm.
in Berlin, 2:35 in London. It was a positive split. She went out harder than she did in Berlin, so she kind of
Yeah.
was bonking a bit, but still runs 3 minutes wholly faster. She talked about her. She talked post race. Her her recovery was fine between the two
Yeah.
marathons, but she was more kind of just gearing up for the big double, which is upcoming this weekend, and figuring out how
Hmm.
to fuel and recover between Chicago and Boston, which will be the talk of the town. Because like after Chicago, the entire like American press are going to want to like talk to her, and she's going to be like, "I can't talk. Like I'm not done." It's like how like after
Hmm.
the prelims of the semifinals of the
Yeah.
100 and the finals are the same
Yeah.
day, everyone just walks through the mix zone because they have to get to the final. She's going to be like, "I got to just walk through this mix zone and get on a plane to get ready for Boston, and I can do my interview after that." But she seemed like good spirits. She definitely created a barrier of 3 hours. I think knowing she was much better than 3 hours because if you
Yeah.
know you're trying to break 3 hours and you're breaking it by over 20 minutes both times, clearly, she probably could have made it sub 2:45 if she wanted to, but I
Hmm.
guess she wanted to give herself that chance to run a 2:59 in Boston because of the Chicago back to back. But this got me thinking about this. If she's able to go
Yeah.
2:38 and then 2:35 a week later, there are a lot of I mean,
Yeah.
we sometimes see it. I think Galen Rupp did it once, but I was talking in the car about while I was at the wedding. We was in a car with a bunch of runners, and how like you spend multiple months building up to a marathon, right? And
Hmm.
it all needs to go right on that day because you spend all this time training, and it really sucks if you just don't have a good day because it makes all that training not worth it, right? Because maybe
Yeah.
you have a
Yeah.
side stitch, you just don't go well. But I feel like most people should be like signing up for backup marathons. So if you do train for a marathon on this one weekend and it doesn't go
Hmm.
well, you decide to
Yeah.
abandon it like 10 miles in because you know this isn't a day. You recover and then you get ready for the next marathon a week later because clearly your body can handle it. Shalane's doing it where she'd do it a full marathon back to back over 2 weekends. But I think there might be
Hmm.
something about you know, recreational marathoners who are trying to achieve like a personal goal to have your backup marathon in the pocket like a week later so you can
Yeah.
know, hey, if you're not feeling right here, save it and go for one last throw at it a week later because your body can handle it.
Yeah. Pros, they run into contract issues if they do that. I know that year in Boston, where there was a question about whether people will be released from their contracts that said, "Hey, if you DNF our race, you can't run another marathon within a certain window of
Oh,
time," which is something I didn't know about going in to prevent exactly what you're saying. You just get your
yeah.
appearance fee, you show up, you run 10 miles, and then you skedaddle, and then you go to the next one. Flanagan, she started with the mass start, and she was showing like a 2:31 projection for a long time in this race, and I believe that to be accurate because she mentioned afterwards she slowed a lot at the end. So there was like a good period of time there where I was like, all right, if she's cruising at 2:31, because I was just assuming, hey, she's 6 days, 7 days after her last marathon, she's got another one coming up, another two coming up, another three coming up, another four coming up. What if she just decided midway in this marathon, this is it for me this fall? How fast could she have run? Like a 220, 228, 27? But then she slowed down and said, oh, she had gone out too fast. So I tempered my expectations a bit. But there was a while that I was thinking, is she going to finish top 15, top 20 if she were to be in the elite field in this race? And then I think ultimately, probably a good thing that she slowed up. Or I mean, I know she was forced to slow up just because her body shut down, but I think she's gonna need everything she has going into these two back to back because this will be unlike anything she's ever done before.
Yeah. And when all is said and done, when we hopefully she pulls it off, especially the back to back ones. And at the end of New York City, you're gonna look at these 6 marathon performances and you're like, all right, what happens if she's not doing 6? If she's just doing 1, what could she run based on this fitness
Yeah.
that we're seeing? If you're showing consistent 230 fitness over
Yeah.
42
Yeah.
days, what can it be if
Sure.
you only do it for 1 day? And maybe
Yeah.
she comes out of retirement and does Boston one last time or something like that, or runs at the Olympic trials in 2024. I don't know, because clearly she didn't
Yeah.
she didn't she didn't decide when she retired. She didn't truly retire where, like, sit on the couch all day.
Yeah.
She's clearly been pretty
Well,
fit.
and someone like Yuki Kauchi, who runs a million marathons a year and has a schedule similar to this year after year, maybe not as extreme, but he has certainly points in his career when he's run volume around this range. You always wonder, okay, if he runs fewer races, how much faster can he go? And with her, she hasn't run like that until now. So you do think, hey, if she went back to just running one race, or even if she just did two, she did one at the beginning and then one in New York, you think it'd be quicker. Travis, can you pull up the Chicago women's elite field? Because Gordon, what I want to know is, if you were her, would you want to start with the elite field in Chicago? You could be sucked into a way too fast pace because you're trying to be competitive on one side, but then on the other side, you could beat a good chunk of these women in this race, because you look at the elite field. Ruth Chepnegich at last check was the only uh, top level Kenyan in there, and then you got Hall, D'Amato, Bates, Nakuri, Flanagan. That's 228 or faster, right there. If she runs another 235, I mean, she's faster than some of the people on this elite list with in terms of PB, or in terms of, I guess, season best.
I don't know. If she runs sub 240 at Chicago, there's something crazy going on, because you should not run 239 or faster knowing in 24 hours you got to do it again. Like, she should go out and try to run 255. Like, just chill, get through it, then kind of go harder at Boston, and then you have time to save up your legs for the next one. But, like, if she's out there running in the 230s for the first half of this race, you're like, what are you
Yeah,
doing? You're gonna start you're gonna be like, what's going on? I mean, it's a competitive athlete in her, right? It's hard
yeah,
for her to purposely run slow. Like, she probably feels like she's running as slow as possible, but she's just so
yeah,
good that as slow as possible is 240 pace. Um, but yeah, you think she's gonna know, all right, I don't
yeah.
need no 230s
Well,
in this one. I just need a 259.
the test would be if she does it in Boston. I no doubt she can do it in Chicago. If she does it then back to back and then puts a fast one up in Boston, then that's crazy too. Like, I think that's where she's got to be careful with Chicago. Is just not overdoing it. But the field in Chicago is just is so wide open here because of how these fields broke down. It has to, like, a little part of it's got to be tempting. If she didn't, if this was it and she could go for it on this one, it'd be fascinating to watch. And she
Yeah, I
didn't
mean,
have Boston the next day. If she just cut loose on this one, it'd be crazy.
and try to win it
I want the simulation. I want to know, because I want to see her do the double and see what she does. But I also want the other world where she goes all out in this.
where she
Not,
actually
maybe not
like
even
wins
winning
one
it. I
of the
mean,
marathons.
well, Ruth Chepnegich is great, 217
But
PB. But, like, just amongst the Americans, could she be top three amongst the Americans on her
yeah,
third
well,
marathon in 3 weeks?
yeah. When I say win it, you need someone to, like, the DNF. Like, if Ruth DNFs and, like, Sarah Hall doesn't
Yeah,
have a good day, all of a sudden you're like, oh, I could win this marathon,
right, right.
right? So that's
And
what I
she
was saying.
gets her second world marathon major doing a stunt where you're doing 7 marathons or 6 marathons in 7 weeks. I think she's filling Tokyo with a run in, like, a virtual one in Portland. So she's really holding herself to this 6 marathon thing.
She's doing a virtual one.
She's going to run in her home, Portland, do like a 26.2 mile virtual marathon, basically. Probably the travel, I'm guessing, was difficult, and trying to figure
Is
things
there going to
out
be
last minute because
a
Tokyo just got
is
canceled
there
not
going
too
to be
long ago.
a course certifier to make sure it's a certified 26.2 and not
Yeah.
We don't want those Strava segments. Can be plus or minus a few meters or here. So we gotta make sure
Yeah.
she's holding to it.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess and tomorrow sorry, Wednesday's show, we'll go more into the Chicago and Boston fields in some too, because it'd be fun to look at that Boston women's field too to see where she fits there as well.
Yeah.